Hello everyone, Sheehan Scott Lampert from West End Jiu-Jitsu. It's been a while since I've seen everyone. Everyone's probably a little frustrated that we can't train right now. Hopefully I can help you guys out with some online videos here, trying to keep you guys in shape, get a little bit of exercise, take your minds off of the second lockdown that we're currently going through. So all we'll do today, obviously I don't have anyone to throw or do any kind of locks or chokes or anything on, so we can't do any grappling or clinch fighting techniques. So I'll just basically, we're going to focus on the basics. So all of our striking techniques and our blocks and our stances, we'll go through those real quick. It'll give you guys something to work on at home and hopefully keep you up to speed a little bit on stuff so when you do come back out training, you haven't forgotten everything, okay? So what we'll do is I'll start off just right from the top of our yellow belt syllabus. So I won't go through the break balls. Most people don't have mats and stuff at home to be able to practice break balls in anyways. So we'll just start right with our stances. So our first stance is our ready stance, which is this one. Everyone remembers this one. This is the stance that tells me that you guys are ready and listening and being attentive and you're ready to learn, right? So there's your ready stance. Defensive stance, which is here. Hands are open. You're in that boxer style stance with your legs. Hands are open and they're out this way. Try not to keep your hands in like this because you want to increase your bubble, right? Your big safety bubble. So the further in your hands are, the closer that person feels comfortable getting to you. The further out your hands are, the further away that person is going to be from you, right? So hands are out, hands are open. So this is your defensive stance. Back up to your ready stance. Fighting stance. So your fighting stance is typical for like a boxer style stance. Hands are up, elbows are in, you're looking between your hands. Don't be like this or like this, like they stand in karate. Hands are up, you're ready to fight. Okay? Next stance. We're going to do our horse stance. So horse stance is here and down. Okay? Legs double shoulder width apart, knees pushed out, knees bent, butts in, backs up nice and straight. Okay? That's our horse stance. We use the horse stance, everyone remembers. After we're done our throws, the horse stance is usually what we'll try and land into because it's a nice solid stance and allows us to be able to move around and throw some strikes from standing position with the person on the ground. All right? Next one is our hook stance. So everybody just put your hands in your hips for now. What we're going to do is we're going to step in, the other foot's going to come in behind, and we're going to bury it. So your shin for your back leg should be right up against the calf muscle of your front leg, knees bent, and you're coming in nice and low here. Everyone remembers what this is for? This is for our throws, right? So we're stepping in to throw someone, we've got the person's arm, we've got their lapel, and we're stepping in with that hook stance, and then we're going to pivot to do that throw. Okay, so that's what we use the hook stance for. Next, we missed our front stance. Very important stance. It's one of our stronger striking stances, right? So from here, all we're going to do, we'll just start it from the fighting stance. We're going to switch and move our front leg over a couple of inches, twist on the balls of your feet, engage that hip, heels down, don't be like this. This is a different stance. It's called a broken front stance. That's not the one that we want right now. So feet are shoulder width apart, front leg bent, back leg nice and straight, backs up nice and straight. Okay? And what we use that stance for is our solid strikes. Right? Good. Blocks. Let's go for our blocks real quick. So everybody on a horse stance. Our high block comes up here. Ready. H. Arm crosses and comes up. And again, this motion, fist is coming up, stops, elbow twists out, right? Everybody remembers that all of these blocks and our punches, they have these little twists to them. Increases the power in your striking ability and your blocks, right? So that's all that little twist does. And again, H, up, and out. H, H, H. Good. Outside block. So when you guys are practicing these blocks, try and stay in your horse stance as long as you can. What it does is it conditions your legs. You'll feel it start to burn. It's good for you, right? It'll make you start to sweat a little bit. By the time you get up, your legs should be aching. You should be walking like an old man, kind of. All right? So down that horse stance, stay nice and low. Don't cheat, and be up like this. All right? Next block is our outside block. So again, it has that little twist. Arm up by the ear, other hand out across the body, and it switches and twists right at that point of impact. And H, up, out. H, up, out. H, 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 our inside block. So again, that horse stance, arm out, other arm is going to come up underneath, arm underneath, comes out to the block, other hand comes back to the hip. So everyone remembers this too. This is called the chamber, where we take our fist and put it on our hip. This is not how we do actual fight application stuff, all right? So when we're doing these blocks, if we're in our actual fight application, the block is just done this way, right? Or from here. We don't do this when we're fighting, all right? All this does is it helps us pull our hip around and get some power into it. It engages our hips. That's why you do that little pull back with your hand, okay? So again, here. And this hand comes out straight, thumbs up, other hand comes up underneath, and switches. And each, underneath, out. Each, each. Good. Next block is your low block. So one hand punches down, the other one comes up by your ear, the one up by your ear is going to sweep down to the block, the other one comes back to the chamber. And each, up, down. Each. Good. Last block is our knife hand block. So for this one, hands are open. One hand's going to punch out, the other hand's going to come up by your ear, similar to your low block, only hands are open and up. Hand that's up by your ear is going to sweep across to the center of the body, blocking with the knife hand portion of your hand. The other hand is going to come across your solar plex. So you're here and down. Up, down, up, down. Good. All right. Strikes. So in our fighting stance, the basic strikes are the ones that you guys are going to use the most. So if you can keep practicing them, practice over and over again. Other than your hook punches and your uppercuts and stuff, your cross and your jab or your lunge punch, reverse punch are the two punches that you'll use the most, especially when you're doing randori or sparring, or even in actual combat situation, right? So from here, in our fighting stance, remember, keep the elbows tucked in. You don't be standing like this and exposing your ribs. From here, looking between your hands, protect your face. And all we're going to do from here is our lunge punch. So lunge punch is a jab. That's all it is. Okay? Remember when you're punching, punches have a little twist to them too. You're always hitting with the two big knuckles. Those are the strong knuckles. Right? So when you're doing that punch, make sure your hand isn't twisted so that those two baby knuckles are pointing forward. You want to twist it, let the two big ones point forward. Okay? Ready. H. Switch to the other side. H. Good. Switch. Reverse punch. So this is where we're going to engage the front stance. So we're going to go from a fighting stance, and we're going to switch into that strong front stance. We want to be planted. Reason being is if you hit something and you're off balance or you're not planted, as soon as you hit it, you're going to lose all that energy because it's going to push you backwards. So you want to make sure that you're nice and planted, so when you throw that and you actually hit, it's going to hurt, right? So make sure you're planted. So right from here, switch to that front stance, throw the other hand out, and then you're going to come back. And again, these are fighting applications, so we're not doing this with the hand, okay? This isn't karate where we go like this, okay? You're here, throw the punch, hand stays up and back. And each. Switch to the other side. Each. Good. Switch. Back fist. So our back fist, similar to a jab, where you're jabbing out this way, but the hand's going to roll in this way, you're aiming with those two knuckles, right? So the fist is coming in backwards. We'll use this a lot for, we're spinning here, our windmill and strikes, we're hitting and doing the strike from someone standing behind you. Not so much from the front, but we practice it this way just so that you learn it, okay? So from here, in and back. Good. Switch, other side. 1, 2, 3, and back. Elbow strikes. So we have 4 basic elbow strikes, right? So first one is our roundhouse elbow strike. So all we're doing, similar to a hook punch, you're coming around with your elbow. So elbow strikes are handy because from a clinch, it's going to be really hard to get your fists in there to hit somebody, right? Another thing too is if you're using your fists to hit people with, there's a good chance if you haven't conditioned your fists properly or your knuckles properly, you're going to hurt your hand. And if you hurt your hand in an actual fight or combat situation, you're in a lot of trouble. You can't grab anything, you can't hit anything. That's a dead limb, right? So you gotta protect your hands. So that's where elbow strikes are good for, because it's a big tree trunk, basically what you're hitting people with, right? So you're coming across this way in a clinch, you can't get your fists in, so you're gonna come around with those elbows, okay? So roundhouse elbow strike comes this way. Make sure your fist isn't in front of your face, because when you hit something, you're gonna punch yourself in the face. So fist always comes around to the other side of the face. Here and in. Switch to the other side, here and back. Inline elbow strike. So your inline elbow strike, what you want to do is engage your whole body with this, okay? And you want to do that with any of your strikes. You don't want to do them from a static position where you're standing like this, and you're just going like this, right? So whenever you're doing this stuff, you should be moving your whole body into it, okay? Get as much power into that as you can. For me, it's 215 pounds coming forward on top of however many pounds per square inch my punch is, okay? So same with this elbow strike. Rather than just do this with it, you're going to shift and move your whole body into it, okay? So you're here and in. Switch to the other side. In, and back. Rising elbow strike. So this one is basically an uppercut that you're doing with your elbow, okay? You're in a clinch, you can't get your fists in, so you're gonna come up with the elbow underneath the chin. Okay, so you're here, and up, and up, up. So the motion for this, you've got to itch your back, you're gonna reach back, try to itch your back, okay? So all you're doing, reach back and itch your back. To the other side, in, back. Good, and switch. Last elbow strike is our downward elbow strike. Okay, so just kick the guy in the guts. You've got him down like this, you're going to come right down the back of his head. Right? So all we're doing for this, same thing, get your whole body involved with it. So you don't just want to stand and do this. You want to come in and sink with it. So shift your whole body into that. All the way down. And do the other side. Up and down. Good. All right, so that's our basic strikes. So all this stuff that we're doing, you guys, if you remember, it's right off of our yellow stripe syllabus, okay? Yellow stripe and yellow belt. Kicks. So our first kick, we have the 3 basic kicks, right? So our first one is our front snap kick. Everybody remembers the difference between a snap kick and a thrust kick. A snap kick is the equivalent of doing a jab with your hand. You're doing it with your foot, right? Thrust kick is the equivalent of doing a reverse punch, which is your power punch, only using your leg, okay? So front snap kick is your jab with your foot. Front thrust kick, you're pushing with your back leg, okay? So from here, the whole motion, and I want everyone to practice this. At home, a good way to practice is to do it in slow-mo. We do this during class all the time. Helps with your balance, and it helps with your form, right? There's a lot of people that do their kicks wrong, okay? I'll show you the wrong way and then the right way. The wrong way, that drives me nuts, is when people do this. And they fall forward with it, right? The right way, chamber it in, kick it out, leg comes back, and then you step down. Always, always, always maintain your balance. The second you lose your balance, you're in a lot of trouble. Especially if the guy knows how to fight and he sees you off balance, right? Be cognizant of it. So from here, practice it super slow-mo. Chamber the leg, knees up, foot's in, toes are curled back. Hands are up. Kick it out, recoil, step down. So that's your whole motion. Up, out, back, down, in, and down. In, down, all right? And remember, your foot needs to recoil just as fast or faster than it goes out. That guy grabs your foot, again, you're in trouble. Especially if the guy knows what to do with it, okay? So we'll always remember, however fast, if your foot goes out this fast, it comes back just as fast. It's in, recoil, step down. Good? Do the other side a couple times. So in, back, down. In, down. in, down. Good. Side snap kick. Similar to a front snap kick, there's no power to it, it's just a quick little flick. And you're not trying to do any damage, it's more of a distraction technique than anything. So what we'll do for this one is we'll do it from a horse stance. It's the easiest way for people to learn it. Hands to the side. All we're gonna do, so it's gonna come up to the chamber to the side. You're gonna kick it out, and you're twisting your foot, similar to if you twist your foot on a root or a rock or something, you walk on the sidewalk, and you twist your foot over like this. That's how you wanna do the kick, okay? So you're kicking with the blade of your foot, which is this part of your foot right here. And again, it's a quick little snap. There's no power, you're not thrusting into it. It's just up, quick little snap, and down. In, quick little snap. Other side, and down. And down. Good. Back kick, right? Again, a kick that a lot of people mess up a little bit. They usually turn it into a side kick, okay? So back kick, my opponent's behind me, I'm facing this way. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna step up, bring my feet to the center, make sure I'm maintaining my balance. I'm gonna turn, I'm gonna look at my target. Hands are up. Don't do this, because you're gonna eat a fist. Here, turn and look, hands are up, protect your face. Knee chambers to the front, kicks back, comes down, and steps down again. Don't do this. See how I'm standing sideways, and I'm kicking out? That's a side kick. Back kick, toes are pointing down, heel is up, okay? Here, up, back, and down. Good? Awesome. Okay, so that's all the time I have for today. That was a really, really quick lesson. And if anybody has anything that they want to work on, send me an email, get a hold of me, and ask me to make a video of something that you want to work on at home. All right? Thank you very much. Hope you guys stay safe. I'll see you next time.